If you be my girl.
Hi, I'm Anthony Manta, and I play for the Griffins. I think it's just my family. They supported me all the way through. My dad, my mom went everywhere for hockey for me. And also having my grandfather that played hockey a long time ago helped me out. He has great tips for me, and he also won 4 Stanley Cups, so he knows what he's been talking about. And it's just been great for me. Well, I think every aspect of the game went up right now. Also, the training in the summer is way better than it was a few years ago. So the kids are more mature when they're younger, and that would be, I think, the factor number one of their success. Everything that's off ice. I mean, in the summer, we all know that we have to be training hard. Every aspect of the training on or off the ice during the summer is key to your success. And I think it's just been going up in the last few years, so it's helping every player out. Well, at first you need to get to know the game. You need to be better every day, and once you learn that, obviously you can help the team by whatever your role is in the team. If you're a scorer or if you're a fighter, you just need to prove your point. Well, obviously you need to start training when you're young. I started, I think I was 14 or somewhere around there. Last summer was my 6th year training in the summer. And obviously during the year you need to keep it up, but I think every aspect of training just helps you out. Well, that was in my 2nd year in Val-d'Or. I did have good numbers. I got drafted that year, and then to be honest, they talk about the players the whole year, so I kind of knew I was going to have a chance, but I didn't know by who. And then the year Detroit drafted me, the year after I went back to juniors and just had a great season last year, and now I'm playing in here for the Griffins, so I just hope I can make an impact and try going up.
I think a lot of guys always dream to play in the NHL, but sometimes it's a process, especially with Detroit, to where they want to groom guys in the American Hockey League for a couple years before they're ready. And it's always one thing to play in the NHL, but when you're there, you got to make sure you're good every night. So that's what the success comes down to.
My name is Mitch Callan, and I play for the Grand Rapids Griffins. Yeah, I went to Kelowna as a 17-year-old walk-on, and I think that year I had 25 fights. So I was still trying to figure out what's going to get me to play pro hockey at that time. And going into that summer, Detroit drafted me, and I had no idea I was getting drafted or not. And going into training camp and stuff, they kind of told me what kind of player they expected me to be. And
what was that?
Kind of be more of an agitator, not so much fight anymore, because I'm not the biggest guy, and especially there's a big difference between pro and juniors. So going into training camp, they told me if I want to come to Grand Rapids as a 20-year-old, this is what I need to work on, and I kind of used that to get me here. Faster and stronger, but I think after the first 20 games I got pretty comfortable, and it was a lot of fun for sure. I think it's a dream come true, and a day I'll never forget. I know my dad was there at the game, and he flew in last minute, so it's one of those days where you could literally rewind it and play in your head over and over and still know every detail.
What did Babcock really push on you guys as like the younger players, or what is he pushing on the younger players to do up in the big leagues?
Just to be good defensively for sure, and to work hard day in and day out, and always put the time in the gym and on the ice to make sure that you're taking steps to get better and not slacking at all. Just become bigger, faster, stronger. They have testing scores every year, and if your numbers are improving, I think they'll be happy. And then I think they mostly worry about your on-ice effort than the testing scores. Right now, since I played here for 4 years, me and Ferraro, I think the older guys kind of put a little leadership on us to set an example on the ice for the younger guys, to show them what it takes to play in this league, and then guys like Brendan Evans and Jeff Hogan, Nathan Page, they're more the vocal guys in the room, and I think they look at guys like me and Ferraro to lead on the ice. I mean, we had a lot of guys go up and down that whole year, so I got an opportunity to kind of put up a little bit of numbers that year, and then for playoffs, all those guys like Nyquist and Anderson, Tatar, they all came back down. Blash put me on the fourth line and told me that he wants me to be a good shutdown player, and you know, I think we were willing to do anything to win the cup that year.
My name is Jeff Blashill, head coach of the Grand Rapids Griffins. Well, I think the biggest thing that we try to do is we get young guys with talent and abilities, and what we need to do is try to form great habits. So pretty much everything we do in practice is try to train them in the proper habits, so that one, as individuals, they're doing the right things on the ice, and as a group of five, we're doing the things the way we want them done together, so then they can just go play without thinking and use their talent to make plays outside of the system. And if you can create great habits, then you can do that. They have to do 100% on their own. It's not we don't have them here under our watch, but in today's world of athletics, if you're not training hard this summer and getting better, then you're falling behind. And I'd actually say if you're not training extraordinary, you're not gaining ground on anybody. So only the guys who are extraordinary hard workers in the summer gaining the ground. Everybody else that just works really hard just stays status quo with where they left the prior season. The biggest thing is we spoke about first is that they have great habits, that they make the right plays in all the little situations. Not necessarily our systems are about the same, but they have to be able to play in the system, but they more importantly have to have the right little habits within that system. So they have to know how to do the right things defensively. They have to make sure that at the end of the night they create chances without giving any up. And to do that, you have to play from the right side of the puck. You have to play in a good defensive posture, and then you take what's given. You don't force it out there. And if they can do those things, then they can go up and play and have success early. Part of this league is you have lots of younger guys, and I think we certainly relied on both. I thought we had real good veteran presence and good veteran leadership, but a lot of our guys that were in high situations were young players, whether it be Nyquist and Tatar and Anderson. Chad Billings was an important player for us that year. He was a first-year player. So we had a lot of guys. Tomas Jurko was a young player. A lot of guys that were young players that had to be key to our success as we moved through the season and into the playoffs. Veteran rule now, where you only are allowed 5 veterans on your team, and so as part of that rule, the league's focus has been on our younger players, and you allowed some veterans so that they can have a good veteran presence, and so that the young guys can learn from the veterans. But the league is driven by younger players, and if you want to have success in this league, you have to have really good quality younger players that learn how to play the right way as quickly as possible. Both, we had, for example, that first year we had Tomas Jurko was right out of junior, we had Luke Glendening right out of Michigan, we had Riley Sheehan right out of Notre Dame. I mean, I think there's a balance of both. It depends on your team, and basically the NHL's drafting the best players available. Some of those guys are playing junior, some of those guys are playing college, some of those guys are playing Europe. They're drafting the best players available, and wherever those best available are coming from, that's where we'll have them. There's advantages to some of the kids that have been in college, and that they are just a little bit older, so that they actually come in a little more physically, at times could be physically more mature, mentally more mature, but that doesn't always play out. Sometimes the younger guys that are coming straight out of major junior have that physical and mental maturity as well.
What do you want to?
We want our best players to be the best players, and if that means that they're 19 or 20 years old, they're 20 years old. If that means they're 30 years old, they're 30 years old. I think the way the makeup of our team is, if our young players aren't stars, we're probably not good enough. We have a lot of young players that.
My name's Pat Ferschweiler. I'm the assistant coach for the Grand Rapids Griffins.
Effort, effort to get better every single day, and the approach to come and know they're not quite good enough for the National Hockey League yet, and that's their goal, and they have to get better each day to get there.
What do you want to develop?
Our job, I think, is stated. I think it's to develop players for the National Hockey League, and we're hired by the Red Wings to make sure that their prospects get better, and that their prospects can go play for them and be impact players in the National Hockey League. It's two different questions. Mantha is a guy who's tremendously skilled, and he's an elite talent, and he's going to have to pay attention to detail every single day. He's going to have to compete every single day, and that'll lead him to great success in the National Hockey League. Callahan is a guy who's going to be more of an effort-based player, and he has the same attention to detail, but in different areas of his game, and has to work, has to compete, and we want to see him, be an elite penalty killer, be able to play against the other team's top lines, and bring most of his success through effort. Habits are a big thing. And, I think Coach Blashill is as good as I've ever seen as far as coaching habits, making sure that every single day you're doing everything you can to do everything right. And it's, firm belief of practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice does. Practice makes permanent. So don't practice the wrong things. Practice doing it right every single time, and then it'll become a habit and you'll do it right naturally. Some of the defensemen in the game, as far as who's going out next and those kind of things, I think skill development wise, I'm here to make all the players better.
Young stars, do you consider them the young stars, or what do you do you want them to be better?
I think the NHL is set up to have the best players in the world in it. So if whatever age, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't think it matters to them. I think an 18-year-old Sidney Crosby anybody would take. And a 37-year-old Pavel Datsyuk, they'd take him too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think you look at the league and even our team right now, with the exception of, we have the 5-vet rule in our league, so there's a lot of young players right now. I think our team right now, I just came from college hockey, it's very comparable to the age of college hockey players, to tell you the truth, and with the exception of the veterans. But our older guys are helping develop our younger guys through their approach, through their, how to be a pro day in, day out, in the locker room, on the ice, off the ice. And so I don't know if the league can get a whole lot younger than it already is, but certainly some of the best players in the league are young guys. We would certainly like the same no matter what the environment. Now, is that reality? Probably not. Does the pressure? Sometimes guys feel pressure to play better at home, and they try things they're not supposed to try, and it gets them in trouble. Sometimes they're energized by the home crowd, and they're better. And I think that's part of the maturation process of understanding those things, that I'm supposed to play the same at home. I'm supposed to play the same on the road, no matter what the crowd is.